Hey, Katya. Are you still enjoying that life of poverty of yours?
Good evening, Palma. First of all, I'm not in poverty and get by just fine. What makes you think that I'm in poverty? Anyways, what do you want?
Yeah. You're poor compared to my father, so there's no point in acting all tough.
Your father?
Yeah, my father. You haven't heard of him? I got divorced with my husband a few years back, and I'm now living with my parents in their house. You already know that, right? It's not the weird kind of father, all right? I don't need to do such perverted things because my family is already so rich.
Oh, yes, I've heard. I heard that you were so careless with money and so selfish that your husband lost patience with you and divorced you.
Huh? That's not how it went at all. It's just that my ex-husband couldn't keep up with my celebrity lifestyle, which means that we were meant for different worlds in the first place, and we only noticed that after we got married. I pitied him and how he had to live with me in my celebrity world when he couldn't keep up, so I let him go back to the world of the common people.
Huh? You let him go back to the world of the common people? I guess that's one way of putting things.
Huh? What are you trying to say? I know you're jealous of my celebrity lifestyle, but that's no excuse to get all salty on me, all right?
Whatever. Could you get to the point already? Why did you suddenly contact me? I don't have the time to talk nonsense with you all day, so please hurry up and tell me what you came to say.
What do you mean nonsense? But I'm your fellow mother at the kindergarten. That's a bit too mean, don't you think? Anyways, though, I agree. I should just hurry up and tell you the news because it's something that will make you fall to your knees. You won't be able to act all tough after you hear what I have to tell you.
Is that so? Hurry up and say it then.
You see, it's about your husband, Louis. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid he's mine now.
What?
You see, I've been thinking recently that my children need a father and that I need a husband myself. That's when I remembered that your husband, Louis, was such a high-spec and handsome man. Someone like that is wasted on a poor woman like you, so I decided to have him for myself. We've been going out for a few months now, and he finally said that he wanted to get married with me.
So, what you're trying to say is that my husband cheated on me with you?
I don't like how you put it that way. It makes it sound like I did something wrong. I want you to say that this is a successful celebrity marriage. Besides, it's not cheating because I'm a better fit for him than you ever were.
I don't know what your definition of cheating is, but I'm pretty sure that that's not how the law defines it. Anyways, I don't care about any of that. Just get to your point already.
Huh? But I already did get to my point. I just wanted to come and tell you that I stole your husband from you.
Are you sure that's it? You went out of your way to tell me about this yourself, which means that you probably intend on putting an end to this soon, right?
Putting an end to this? What do you mean by that? Oh, you're talking about the alimony, right? Jesus, this is the problem with poor people like you. Your husband just got stolen from you, and the first thing you think about is the money that you're going to receive from me as an alimony? This is why I hate the common people. It's like all their emotions have been replaced with a lust for money.
Calm down, princess. It seems that you don't quite understand the situation. Please don't forget that you're the one who's in the wrong here and not me. You really shouldn't be as proud about this as you are right now.
You're so mean, Katya. It's not my fault that I was a better match for your husband, Louis, than you were. I'll forgive you for being so mean to me, though. Because I'm going to consider what you just said to me as the final cries of the poor woman who just lost her husband.
Could you seriously just stop with all your nonsense? I want to get this over as fast as possible, as reading your text is honestly a pain in the rear end. What are we going to do about the alimony?
That's not a problem. My dad is going to pay for it anyway, so just hurry up and get divorced with Louis, all right?
You're going to count on your father, huh?
Yeah, so what if I count on my father to pay the alimony? What difference does it make to you? Anyways, should I give you 10,000 euros for the alimony or something? That's above the average amount for things like this, right? 10,000 euros is nothing for my father, you see.
Aren't you like 40 years old? And you're seriously saying stuff that a rich teenage girl would say?
Yeah, say whatever you want. You're just jealous your family is too poor for you to rely on your parents yourself. I mean, my father works as the department head for one of the 2 largest companies in this area. His salary increased almost 3-fold ever since he became a department head, which means that even if I'm now divorced and I'm a single mother, I don't have to worry about money even a single bit. I'm basically a celebrity, you know.
You're getting off topic again, Pelma. What makes you think I wanted to hear any part of what you just told me?
Huh?
I already got that you're very proud of being a celebrity, but I'm going to have to talk with Lewis himself first and check whether what you just told me now is true. If necessary, I'm going to be hiring a lawyer after that and ask him or her to handle this for me. Please be a bit more patient, because I won't be able to get divorced with Lewis just yet.
Is that so? But are you sure it's all right if you hire a lawyer? I mean, wouldn't that be a bit too expensive for someone as poor as you?
You're still saying that? Like I said, I'm not poor. I don't know why you ever started thinking that in the first place.
I mean, once you get divorced with Lewis, you won't be able to maintain your current lifestyle anymore, right? Which is why I'm just so worried about you.
Is that why you've been calling me poor all this time? Because you knew that me and my husband would get divorced soon?
Yep, I've been calling you poor ever since me and Lewis started going out, you see. I mean, it hasn't happened yet, but it will happen, so it's the truth, right? It was so hilarious seeing you confused as to why I was calling you poor.
I think it would be best if you started worrying about yourself and what's about to happen to you before worrying about other people's futures. Just remember, though, that whatever happens to you from now on is your own doing.
Huh? What even is that?
I'm not going to reply to a single one of your texts until I'm finished preparing. Goodbye.
Come on, Katya, what is the meaning of this? Your husband Lewis just came to my house. He says that you kicked him out of your house or something? I mean, I get how you don't want to share a roof with a husband who doesn't love you, but Lewis is the owner of that house, isn't he? You can't just kick him out like this. You're the one who should leave with your kids. Oh, I get it. Your parents are already dead, right? Which means that you can't rely on them and have nowhere else to go. Not only that, but you're so poor that you can't even stay in a hotel or something. Fine. If that's the case, then I'll forgive you for kicking Lewis out of his own home like this. But once you two get divorced and we pay you an alimony, you'll have the money to move out. I won't let you stay in the house after that, all right? By the way, Katya, were you able to hire that lawyer you said you were going to be hiring? My father is getting so impatient and keeps asking me how much the alimony is going to be. I need you to hurry up so he can pay it for me as soon as possible because my father is a busy man, you know? We're just waiting for you now. We'll be able to give you the money on the exact same day you ask it from us. Hey, when's this lawyer of yours going to come? Not only that, but why do you keep ignoring my texts? Why don't you reply at least once? I mean, it's so disrespectful how you keep ignoring my texts, even though you're just a poor woman. Hold on, what is the meaning of this? I happened to go by my dad's office today and saw you entering the building. What does someone like you have to do at a place like that? Oh, don't tell me, but are you currently in the process of trying to find a job after you get divorced? If that's the case, I'll ask to make sure that you don't get hired by his company. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you, but that lawyer of yours came today. We're going to give you that alimony you're asking from us by the end of the day, so look forward to it, all right? Katya, what in the world is the meaning of this? Yesterday, when your lawyer came and told me the amount of money we had to pay you, I tried to go and tell Dad about it since he was supposed to pay it off immediately. But when he heard your name, his face went pale and he gave a wail, locking himself in his room. After that, all he said was, "We're screwed." Just what in the world did you do to my father? Katya, what do you mean your husband Louis is just a regular employee? But I thought he was the department head of some other company or something. I also heard from him that the house I thought belonged to him actually belonged to you. I tried to make Louis pay the alimony for me since it looked like my dad wasn't going to be of any use, but even he said that it was impossible. Not only that, but for some reason my mom left my dad divorce papers she had already signed and left. Seriously, what in the world is going on here? This can't be happening. My dad's guilty of embezzlement? Is that why he started panicking and saying that we're screwed?
Good morning, Palma. I was just about to contact you about that myself.
Katya! Finally, you replied to my text. Hey, tell me what's going on here. What do you mean my father is guilty of embezzlement?
Well, it basically means that he's been stealing money that wasn't his. Because of that, your father was fired from the company.
Huh? What do you mean my father was fired?
It means exactly what you think it means. The reason I was about to contact you was to explain this to you myself.
What?
First of all, I'll tell you who I really am to make what I'm about to tell you now as easy to understand as possible. You see, I'm an executive manager at S Corporations.
What?
This is going to answer the question you had yesterday as well, but you probably mistook Louis for being a department head of some company when, in reality, it was me who had that sort of position.
Isn't S Corporations...
Yes, it's the company your father used to work at before he got fired. I was an executive manager there, which means that I was one rank higher than your father at the company. Meaning that I was your father's boss, basically.
You were my father's boss?
Yes, let me continue. You see, your father was the accounting manager at our company. One day, one of our employees noticed that ever since your father got that position, the finances of the company have been a little strange. I decided to investigate this secretly when you suddenly revealed to me that my husband Louis was cheating on me with you. That's when you gave me a hint as to who the person responsible for the company's finances being off was. You told me that your father was going to pay however much money I wanted, right?
Could it be the case that...
Yes. You see, your father, our former accounting manager, was always pretty free with his money. But ever since he was promoted to this new position, he's been spending a bit more money than one would think a person of his salary would actually be able to spend. You see, there were already plans for tens of thousands of euros from the company's finances to be used soon. We were keeping a watch on him because of that, as there was a possibility that he would attempt embezzlement again, you see.
What? You were investigating my father?
Repeating what I say word for word is a sign that you don't actually understand what's happening, you know? Make sure you read these texts I just sent you one more time carefully after our conversation. Anyways, the team that was tasked to investigate your father was able to successfully catch him trying to embezzle some more money. And he was soon fired after that.
What? So the reason that as soon as father got a promotion at his company, we were suddenly able to live a celebrity lifestyle was because...
It probably had something to do with the money he stole from the company.
But if that's the case, then what am I supposed to do now? Your husband Louis is just a regular employee and has no money, so I can't count on him. And the money that my father was supposed to give me to pay off your alimony was actually money that he stole. Who's going to pay for this alimony now?
Palma, have you ever considered working and paying it off yourself?
Huh? I'm supposed to get a job now?
Do you see any other options?
But I've never worked a day in my life.
Well, it looks like you'll just have to start.
Yeah, but...
You can't rely on anyone to pay the alimony for you, right? Which means that you'll just have to pay for it on your own.
I think I'll give Louis back to you.
Sorry, I don't want him anymore. Besides, even if you break up with Louis or something, it won't change the fact that you'll have to pay me an alimony.
Seriously? But I don't want him anymore.
If you have any questions regarding the law, then please ask my lawyer about it. Well then, I'm going to be blocking this account, so please contact me through my lawyer from now on.
Katya, wait!
Well, that was what happened. Palma's father was found guilty of embezzlement, and in exchange for settling things privately, he was asked to return all the money he stole from the company, which amounted to several tens of thousands of euros. It seems that his daughter Palma helped him out with returning this money. Unrelated to that, though, I was able to receive an alimony from both Palma and Louis. I thought that Louis would be taking custody of our children, but apparently he just one day disappeared entirely, telling one of our neighbors that he was leaving to find a new job. For some reason, it looks like Louis is currently with Palma's father somewhere, and one day, after I had almost forgotten about what happened, our office at S Corporations was suddenly just mailed his letter of resignation. According to the rumor, he had to take on a loan from the same people Palma got a loan from as well. I don't know whether that has something to do with this, but no one knows where the three of them are right now, and neither is anyone able to contact them.
There you are, Aaron. It took me forever to find out your new phone number. I went through so much trouble in order to find you a decent woman to marry. I even went as far as planning an extravagant wedding for you. And then you run off and marry some random floozy. And to top it all off, you moved and changed your phone number without telling me? How could you treat me this way? I suppose you aren't entirely to blame. You never were one to stand up for yourself. I have no doubt that awful woman who you married is the one putting you up to all of this. But not to worry, Aaron. It'll be fine soon. I found your new address. I'll be over there soon, and with me there to back you up. I'm sure together we can sort that harpy out. I'm just about to get in my car, so I should be there in no time. It's clear that woman wasn't given a proper upbringing, so I'll have to fix her mother's mistakes. I'll have her whipped into shape before the month's end, Aaron. Mark my words.
Mom? What the hell is going on here?
Ah, I see you finally noticed my message. I was wondering, when would you reply? It had been almost 2 hours. I was starting to worry that woman had taken your phone from you. But since you seem to be fine, I suppose you were simply too overwhelmed with joy at the thought of your mother coming to rescue you from your misery that you were at a loss for words.
I was in a meeting, at my job. I didn't have time to check my phone until now, and I just saw your messages. And in any case I wasn't clear before, you were the last person I wanted to hear from. I told you, Mom, I'm cutting you out of my life. Got it? Now go back home.
Oh, my dear sweet Aaron, it's absolutely terrifying the grip that awful woman has on you. Ugh, I get shivers whenever I hear her name. Charity, bleh. But as I said before, Aaron, you don't need to be afraid of her anymore. I've managed to track down your new address. There's nothing she can do to keep me from you now. I'll get right to work on fixing her up as soon as I get to your house, so don't you worry about a thing. You just focus on your work and leave all the dirty work to your dear mother.
Mom, I've told you this more times than I can remember. But Charity is my wife. She's wonderful to me. I love her, and you don't need to fix anything about her. Go home. You are not welcome at our house, and you never will be, so do not come. Do I make myself clear?
I've just turned onto your street, Aaron, to be there shortly.
Oh, for the love of God! Charity, it's me. Listen, this is very important. I need you to lock all the doors and windows and do not open them for anyone, okay? I mean it. Charity, do not open them for anyone except me. No matter what they say, keep the doors locked. Pretend you aren't home.
Aaron, what's going on? You're scaring me.
It's my mom. I don't know how, but she managed to find our new address.
What?
She just messaged me a minute ago saying that she was on our street, so she'll probably be there soon. Do you hear anything outside?
Well, actually, I just got to my client's office a little while ago. I have a meeting with them in a little bit, so yeah. I'm not at home right now and won't be for a while.
Really? Oh yeah, you did mention that earlier.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm not home at the moment, so you don't need to worry about me letting her in. When she sees that no one's there, she's gonna turn around and go back home, right?
Just in case, I think we'd better book a room at a hotel for tonight. Do you have your valuables on you?
Yeah, I carry around whatever is carryable. Just like you said, anything that's too big to fit in my bag I left at my parents' house.
Okay. Sounds like we're in the clear for now. Anyway, thanks. I guess the next order of business is to find a new apartment as soon as possible. Man, it's time like this that make me really happy that we're both fortunate enough to get jobs that let us work from home.
Yeah, for real. If we were working at a regular company, it would be a lot harder for us to up and move to a different place in an emergency. Imagine if you had to keep living there even after your mom found us.
Ugh, I don't even want to think about that. And Charity, I'm really sorry that my mom is causing so much trouble for us.
Aaron, I keep telling you, you don't need to apologize for anything. I knew exactly what I was getting into when I married you, and I said yes, didn't I?
Yeah, you sure did. Thanks, Charity. Okay, well, I'm gonna get us a hotel room. I'll message you again once I make the reservation.
Okay, no rush. Gonna go talk to my client now. Bye. What is it with this city? Every single street looks exactly the same. I feel like I've been going in circles for the last half an hour. Whatever made you think it would be a good idea to move to this god-forsaken place? But not to worry, I finally found your place, Aaron. Isn't this exciting? We're about to embark on a new journey as a family. Just the two of us and that awful wife of yours who we'll be reforming. We'll give her all the tough love she needs to straighten her out, and if she resists, then you'll divorce her immediately. Ah, and you don't need to worry about being lonely when she's gone. I've already got the perfect woman lined up for you to marry. She's just like your dear old mother. Aaron, what is the meaning of all this? You never told me Charity was pregnant. And she looks like she could give birth any second now. That awful little brat tried to stop me from coming in the house, so I gave her a bit of a smack, out of love, of course. Spare the rod and spoil the child. She's going to have to get used to a new way of life, and it's better she does than sooner than later. But in any case, your apartment really is something else. Aaron, it's gorgeous. I feel like I could fit my whole house inside the living room. There should be more than enough space for me to put my things. So tell me, Aaron, what about time were you planning on being home tonight? I'm having Charity make me a bite to eat for lunch right now, since I thought it would be a good plan to start her cooking training right away. So if you have any requests for dinner, let me know and I'll have her start working on it just as she finishes making my lunch. Anything you want, dear, just name it.
Mom? Hold on. Back up 1 second. You're already at our apartment? Exactly when did you get there?
A few moments ago, dear. I told you I would find you, didn't I? Seriously, though, imagine my shock when I find out that I would become a grandmother in less than a month. Granted, I do have my share of issues with the child maternal lineage, but not to worry, I'm an expert in discipline, so I'll have any of his mother's traits wiped out of him by the time he enters elementary school.
Wait. Child?
Yes, my grandchild. And since I'll be living with the two of you, I'll always be there to ensure that awful wife of yours doesn't have too much of a negative influence.
Mom, Charity isn't pregnant.
What are you talking about?
Also, Charity isn't at home either. She's with me right now.
That's impossible. She's in the kitchen right now.
When I found out you were coming, I booked us a room at a hotel for the night to keep from having to deal with you. We're both at the station right now. She just got off her train, and we're about to head to the hotel.
How many times do I have to tell you she's right here? She's making my lunch as we speak. She can't be with you.
I have no idea what's going on right now, but, Mom, please don't tell me that you just barged into the apartment and started acting like you own the place.
What's wrong with that? It's your apartment. So since I'm your mother, I do own the place in a way. A fact which that awful woman seemed not to understand. Where did she get off threatening to call the police on me? It seems as though I have my work cut out for me straightening her up. It's dreadful that she doesn't even give me the proper respect to the mother of the man who's financing her selfish, greedy lifestyle.
I'm not financing anything, Mom. We both work. And that's completely besides the point. Mom, I need you to pay attention to what I'm about to say.
What is it, dear?
The apartment you're in right now is not ours. You stormed into the wrong apartment.
Nonsense.
Listen, Mom, Charity is with me. She's standing right beside me. And she's not 9 months pregnant. She's not even 1 month pregnant. She's not pregnant at all. And our apartment is not that big. It's a studio apartment. There's barely enough room for us, much less you and all of your stuff.
You're not making any sense.
Let me ask you something. What makes you think the address you're at right now is our address? How did you find it?
Oh well, you know, a friend of mine who lives near you said they saw you moving your bags into this apartment, so they told me the address.
That's odd. When did this happen, exactly?
Well, I suppose it's been out 6 months or so. So I started planning out my re-education plan for your awful wife and saving up money for the move. And once everything was settled, I headed over there right away.
Oh, okay. I think I get what happened now.
What is it? What happened?
The place you're at right now is about 10 minutes away from a big shopping mall down the road from an elementary school, right?
Yes, why?
You said it was 6 months ago, so that would put it roughly 3 months after I formally cut you out of my life. That apartment belonged to a friend of mine from college. He and his wife were living there. They were kind enough to let us stay there for 2 weeks while we got an apartment sorted out.
2 weeks?
Yeah, the residents of the apartment we were moving into still had 2 weeks left on their lease, so we just had to wait until they were all moved out. So, yeah, it wasn't a permanent living arrangement. We were only there for a short time.
So, the woman in the kitchen right now isn't your wife, it's your friend's wife? Oh my goodness gracious! Do be a dear and call them to explain the situation. I'm sure they'll understand it's coming from you.
I'm not finished. My friends moved out of that apartment months ago.
What? Oh no, Aaron, this is terrible. The woman here, she called her husband and he just came home. He started yelling at me and I was so terrified that I ran and locked myself in their bathroom. What should I do now? Help me.
So, as I was saying, the people living in the apartment that you just barged into, they're not us. They're not my friends. They're not my friends' friends. I have no idea who they are.
That can't be.
To summarize, you just barged into someone's apartment, assaulted a 9 months pregnant woman, and are now locked in their bathroom and refusing to leave. In the business, that's what they call trespassing.
That wasn't my intention at all.
Well, intentional or not, once the police get there, I think you're looking at a mandatory ride to the station.
Police?
My wife? As in my real wife, and not the woman who you just assaulted because you thought she was my wife? Just got off the phone with the local police department and explained the situation.
Oh no! Oh no! What should I do now?
What choice do you have? Explain yourself and apologize, and maybe they won't press charges.
Apologize? Why should I have to do that?
Well, in this case, I would say the most pertinent reason is because you slapped a pregnant woman and forced her to make you lunch for the trouble?
But it was an honest mistake.
I don't believe this. Are you for real? You've met Charity so many times, yet you still managed to forget what she looked like and confuse her with some random stranger?
Well,
And I mean, it's not like you forgot her name. At any point in your escapades today, did you think even just once to address her by name? That would have saved you a lot of trouble, I think.
but it was obviously her. She had the key to your apartment and everything. Well, the apartment I thought was yours. So when I saw her open the door and go in, I knew it had to be her.
Oh, and one other thing. Even after I got married and told you, repeatedly, that I don't need or want you to find a wife for me, you went ahead with your plans anyway, didn't you? What kind of inconsiderate, unthinking, oblivious moron are you? My God in heaven, when your husband divorces you and your only son disowns you, I'd say most people would stop and think, gee, maybe I'm the problem here, but not you.
Aaron?
Whatever, I'm done with you. Enjoy prison, you psychopath.
Aaron, I can't believe you. You're my son. I'm your mother. You have to help me. Hurry up and do something. You can't speak to me that way. Aaron, pick up this instant.
My mom was taken into custody by the local police, and, after consulting with the poor people she barged in on, she was charged with trespassing, assault and battery, and a few other crimes. She evaded prison time due to her age, but now she had to deal with the inconveniences of having a criminal record. While she was busy dealing with the fallout of her trial and conviction, I talked with Charity's parents. And as of today, I have officially changed my name and no longer have any connections, legal or otherwise, to my mother. It hit her pretty hard when she heard the news through the grapevine. Fortunately, she had never visited my in-laws' house and has no way of finding out where they live, so I don't think we'll be hearing from her ever again. But, just in case, I went ahead and got a legal restraining order against her. As for what she's doing now, my aunt told me that she had holed herself up in her house for days after she got back from the police station. She got fired from her job, and now she has to deal with finding new work with a criminal record to her name in order to pay off the damages she owes to that couple. Oh, and speaking of them, they called the other day and said she had given birth to a healthy baby boy. I'm really happy for them. I have a feeling that child will grow up in a much better environment than I did.